Every day, millions of people around the world go to sleep trusting a stranger with their life. In hospital rooms, emergency wards, elderly homes, ships crossing open oceans, and homes far from their own. That stranger is often Filipino. Not because of coincidence, not because of luck, but because trust has a history. And this story begins long before today, in quiet sacrifices, long nights, and people the world learned to rely on without ever fully acknowledging. This is not just a story about work. This is a story about trust. This is the story of why the world trusts Filipinos with their lives. Look closely, and a pattern begins to appear. In hospitals across the United States, Filipino nurses quietly fill night shifts and emergency wards. In care homes in Canada and the United Kingdom, Filipino caregivers become family to people they've just met. In Japan and the Middle East, on cruise ships and cargo vessels crossing the world's oceans, Filipinos are there. Not in one place, not in one profession, but everywhere trust is required. This is not visibility, it is responsibility. Because these are not jobs where mistakes are forgiven. These are roles where a single decision can mean life, death, or dignity. Yet again and again, across different cultures, languages, and systems, the same choice is made. When the work is hard, when the hours are long, when the stakes are high, Filipinos are called. Trust is not automatic. In places where lives are on the line, trust is tested every single day. You don't hand over your sick child, your aging parent, or your own life to someone you doubt. These roles demand more than technical skill. They demand calm under pressure, patience in chaos, and care that does not disappear when no one is watching. Across hospitals, care homes, and emergency settings, Filipinos earned a reputation not through words, but through consistency. Showing up early, staying late, treating strangers with dignity. Over time, that consistency became something stronger than qualification. It became reliability. And reliability in critical systems becomes trust. In moments of crisis, communication saves lives. A misunderstood instruction, a delayed response, a sentence that doesn't land, and the consequences can be irreversible. Filipinos brought with them a rare advantage, the ability to communicate clearly, calmly, and compassionately across cultures. English fluency was only the beginning. What mattered more was understanding tone, emotion, and fear, especially in moments when people were at their most vulnerable. In a hospital room, patients don't just need treatment, they need reassurance. And in that space, Filipinos learn to translate not just language, but care itself. This ability to speak, to listen, and to connect turned competence into comfort. And comfort is what people remember long after the crisis has passed. Discipline does not appear overnight. For many Filipinos, it begins early inside the family. Responsibility is taught young. Respect for elders is expected, not negotiated. Hard work is not praised loudly, it is assumed. In many homes, children grow up watching sacrifice before they understand its cost. Helping siblings, contributing when they can, learning to endure quietly. This upbringing creates something rare in high-pressure environments. Resilience without entitlement. When things get difficult, many Filipinos don't ask, "Why me?" They ask, "What needs to be done?" And in systems that cannot afford collapse, that mindset becomes invaluable. Behind every trusted professional abroad, there is often a quiet sacrifice at home. Many Filipinos leave not because they want to, but because they must. They miss birthdays, first steps, school graduations, even final goodbyes. They learn to celebrate milestones through phone screens and time zone gaps. While they care for other people's families, their own wait from a distance. This sacrifice is rarely visible in statistics or job titles. but it is deeply embedded in the trust the world now relies on. Because people who carry responsibility this heavy do not treat their work lightly. They understand what it means to be needed. Across the world, critical systems are under pressure. Populations are aging, healthcare workers are burning out. Skilled labor is in short supply. When institutions face these realities, they don't experiment. They look for patterns that have already proven reliable. Again and again, the same conclusion is reached. Filipinos adapt quickly, they communicate clearly, they stay when others leave. That is why recruitment pipelines reopen, why contracts are renewed, why entire systems quietly plan around Filipino workers. This is not charity. It is trust built through decades of consistency. In a world that rewards volume, Filipinos have often chosen quiet. They rarely announce their importance, rarely demand recognition. Their pride lives in the work itself, in showing up, in finishing what they start. While others compete for attention, Filipinos build reputations. And in systems where reliability matters more than applause, that reputation carries weight. This quiet excellence is not weakness. It is strength refined by experience. To Filipinos watching this, whether at home or far away, the world may not always say your name out loud, but it feels your presence every day. In hospital rooms, on ships crossing dark waters, in homes where care is needed most. If the world trusts Filipinos with their lives, then perhaps it's time Filipinos remembered their own worth. Not loudly, but confidently. If you know a Filipino working abroad, share this with them. Let them know they're seen,